channeling Katy Perry's teenage dream in skin-tight black jeans and big Republican hair. Former Alaska Gov. Sarah Palin lit up a hootin' and hollerin' conservative political action conference in suburban Washington Saturday, labeling U.S. President Barack Obama an outright liar while championing us little people, us clinging to our gods, our guns, our grassroots. More background checks? Damn the idea, Mr. President, she said, blazing away that the president's gun control efforts should have started with yours. But Mrs. Palin, the unsuccessful candidate for the vice presidency in 2008 who abruptly resigned her post in Juneau a year later, did not disclose any hints to her own political future beyond a call to delegates to comb the nation's school boards and Tea Party rallies for suitable candidates for future elections. This fall, according to a publisher's news release, she will release a fun, festive, thought-provoking book that will encourage readers to see what is possible when we unite in defense of our faith and ignore the politically correct Scrooges who would rather take cries out of Christmas. But even this opus went unplugged at CPAC in favor of sniping at the permanent political class in Washington that she once campaigned to join. Introduced by Calgary-born Senator Ted Cruz of Texas as a wise Mahatma who drives the mainstream media bat-crap crazy, Mrs. Palin drew repeated standing ovations from hundreds of the Caucasian collegians who made up the vast majority of CPAC attendees. But few of the contra-liberals who hooted at her punch lines declared that they would support her at the ballot box, should she decide to run for the White House in 2016. Several hours after Mrs. Palin spoke, the results of the annual CPAC straw poll were revealed, relegating her to 10th place out of more than 60 putative Republican candidates. Libertarian Kentucky Senator Rand Paul and Florida Senator Marco Rubio led the survey, which was skewed by the refusal of former Florida Gov. Jeb Bush to be listed. Mrs. Palin was preceded to the stage on Saturday by a panoply of former, failed presidential hopefuls, including former Speaker Newt Gingrich, who delivered a lengthy monologue about the invention of the electric light bulb, and Minnesota Congresswoman Michelle Bachmann, who excoriated the president for exposing the United States to enemies waging deadly cyber attacks, for employing 5 chefs aboard his personal aircraft and to full-time cinema projectionists in the White House, for consorting in Las Vegas with Beyoncé and Jay-Z, and for not wanting to cure cancer, Alzheimer's disease, or juvenile diabetes. We are the people who truly care about people in this country, Representative Bachmann said. We'll get gas to $2 a gallon, half the current price, because we have the uniquely American lifeblood as our signature. We do it because we love. We do this because we care. This is the movement of love. Following this romantic manifesto, Sarah Palin prescribed an adult conversation about our country that would have to begin with an acceptance of Mr. Obama's re-election. We came in second, out of 2, she said. Second on the dog-sold team. The view never changes and it ain't the pretty view. Remember no drama Obama? Mrs. Palin asked. Now it's all drama Obama. We don't have leadership coming out of Washington, we have reality television, except it's really bad reality TV, and the American people tuned out a long time ago. Candidate or Kardashian? Asked the Inside the Belle Twain newspaper Politico of Mrs. Palin, whose own reality series of Alaskan adventures was not renewed last year by the Discovery Channel and whose tenure as a Fox News analyst similarly has faded out. And the Washington Post recently described her as a punching bag that has been slowly deflating since 2008. In a dig at New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg's attempt to restrict the sale of Alaska-sized containers of sweetened soft drinks, Mrs. Palin interrupted her customary paean to cowboys, fishermen and hockey moms to slurp from a big Gulf Cola she had stashed behind the podium. But a few minutes later, and 5 years on from her lipstick on a pit bull debutante moment at the Republican National Convention, even some of the conference-goers who wailed with delight at Mrs. Palin's speech withheld their support for her punitive candidacy. I see her as a leader, but a leader in the media sense, said Samantha Forhan of Phoenix, chairman of Arizona College Republicans. I think the liberals would bash her too much for doing TV reality shows. She's an average person with average intelligence and it shocks people that she's of average intelligence, said Jacqueline Quanter, a sophomore at Tufts University in Massachusetts, a self-described independent voter, and one of the very few African Americans in attendance. She still has the power to inspire people, she still has those wisps of brilliance. but I wouldn't trust her to write policy. If you're not smarter than the average bear, you might think she's making a policy speech, but it's really just a rallying cry. She speaks with little or no factual background. She's never going to be president, and neither is Joe Biden, and neither am I.